Fox News alert. Just moments ago, another batch of the Twitter files was dropped by journalist Matt Taibbi. This time, we learn about the steps Twitter took on January 6th and leading up to it. And we'll share those with you in just a moment. But first, we all know a liar when we see one. They lie when they don't have to. Like the guy in the office who's always late. You know, as soon as he walks in, you'll hear a fake story about a woman giving birth on a train. But if you call them out, they'll lie again. And they do it straight to your face.
Now we're going to run a few tests. This is a simple lie detector. I'll ask you a few yes or no questions, and you just answer truthfully. Do you understand?
Yes.
This is coming just after journalist Barry Weiss dropped new Twitter documents proving the company censored conservatives. People like Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk, libs of TikTok, and even a Stanford doctor who said lockdowns would hurt children were secretly shadow banned on Twitter. Their posts were being purged, buried, secretly censored. Many conservatives were straight up being banned. Bongino had people telling him they couldn't find him on Twitter. And Bongino is the most viral guy on Facebook, but he was a ghost on Twitter some weeks. No one could see him. The media told us we were imagining things. Headline after headline told us, move along, there's nothing to see here. Every reporter said Twitter isn't shadow banning Republicans, even though they were. The CEO at the time, Jack Dorsey, even went under oath to say the same thing.
Social media is being rigged to censor conservatives. Is that true of Twitter?
No.
I don't know what Twitter is up to. It sure looks like to me that they're censoring people, and they ought to stop it. Are you censoring people?
No.
Twitter shadow banning prominent Republicans. It's bad. Is that true?
No.
Turns out he lied under oath. Lied to Congress, which is supposed to be a crime, and he lied to you. Twitter wasn't just censoring conservative speakers. Elon said today they were even censoring Republican political campaigns. Millions of voters and constituents couldn't see what Republican campaigns were saying or what Republican politicians were saying. And while this was happening, Democrat politicians, Democrat campaigns were pumped straight into your bloodstream. A $40 billion company rigged America's political debate to help their preferred political party. A private company was doing political favors for Democrat candidates. Election laws were broken. Elections were interfered with. Twitter was providing in-kind contributions to Democrat candidates, and none of this was disclosed. It was all done in the dark. And Republican fundraising was affected. Democracy was poisoned. The former CEO of Jack Dorsey knew exactly what he was doing, and he had an army of lobbyists dominating Democrat regulators in D.C. so he could get away with it.
I think oftentimes companies see themselves as reacting to regulation, and I think we need to take more of an education role. So I don't fear it. I want to make sure that we're educating regulators on what's possible, what we're seeing, and where we could go.
When you say educating regulators, that's initiating a regulation. I mean, you
not necessarily. I mean, we might just be
educating regulators. Who are these regulators?
These are folks who might be tasked with coming up with a proposal for particular legislation or laws to present to legislators.
So Twitter owned Washington. Where's the FBI? Traditionally, the Bureau would investigate political corruption, but the FBI was in on it. Twitter's top lawyer, James Baker, was a former FBI lawyer. He was planted at the company to oversee political censorship after successfully orchestrating the Russia hoax. And as Elon was dropping these new documents, he intercepted them and started scrubbing and got caught and then got canned. Musk says documents were deleted. This former FBI lawyer destroyed company property and destroyed evidence. Remember, in 2016, his team fabricated evidence against Trump, and now he's destroying evidence to help Biden. He's an FBI lawyer. Plus, Baker wasn't the only Fed working there. Twitter headquarters was swimming with ex-CIA and FBI agents. They all had C-suite offices and held top company positions. The head of Twitter's strategic response team, Jeff Carlton, worked for both the CIA and the FBI. Is that a coincidence? Was Twitter being used as a back-end government program? Was Twitter being used as a surveillance platform, an intelligence operation, a PSYOPs program? Has the Democratic Party joined forces with American intelligence to subvert elections and crush American conservatives? And the corporate media not only won't touch the scandal, but they'll scandalize any reporter who reports it. When Jack Dorsey breezes through interviews on CNN, it all makes sense.
The real question behind the question is, are we doing something according to political ideology or viewpoints? And we are not, period. We do not look at content with regards to political viewpoint or ideology. We need to constantly show that we are not adding our own bias, which I fully admit is more left-leaning.
But that was all a lie. How many lies can you tell on CNN and get away with it? Twitter was helping Democrats suppress the votes and sway elections. Big tech, big media, and the Democrats are why people don't trust elections. And the saddest part about all this is while they were suppressing political speech, they were censoring doctors, medical professionals who were banned for warning that lockdowns would hurt kids, that school closures would hurt kids. Here's one of the top doctors who was throttled by Fauci and Twitter.
It really hurt public health. If we'd had an open discussion, Laura, the schools would not have closed in the fall of 2020. If we had an open discussion, the lockdowns would have been lifted much earlier because the data and evidence behind them was so bad. Twitter, by suppressing scientific discussion, harmed science, harm children, and harm the American public. Imagine how different that all the small businesses could stay open, all the people that wouldn't have missed their cancer screenings, all the kids that wouldn't have to be depressed and suicidal, that all the learning loss that could have been avoided if we just had an open scientific discussion.
That was the point. They wanted control, not discussion. From politics to science, they wanted to be the judge, jury, and executioner. And so far, they're getting away with it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.